I am a Jedi, like my father before me.
Silly Jedi! Silly Jedi!
Remember, the Force will be with you, always.
You must unlearn what you have learned.
Hello, what have we here?
Hello there.
I'm lost. Where have you been?
Nice of you guys to drop by.
Ah, good. New acquisitions.
I don't know. I have a bad feeling about this.
Hey, everybody. What was that? Hey, everybody. Hey, everybody, and welcome to Star Wars Card Talk. I'm Maurice from Jedi Toy Masters on Instagram and right here on YouTube and right here on Podcast Land, in Podcast Land, wherever you listen to podcasts, whether it's Anchor or iTunes or Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts. I'm glad that you're here. And if you're watching, because this is not just a podcast, it's also a video format for the old YouTube. If you're watching, well then, thanks for watching, and I hope that you, look, this is like very intimate now. If you're watching, this is very intimate because I'm currently at a light in the underpath, so look at this lighting on my face. It's so dramatic. If you're watching, you're getting this cool shot of me in silhouette. Please make sure to like and subscribe. Comment below, whatever we're talking about today. I hope you join in the comments below. I get a kick out of reading your comments when there's comments there. And also check out some of our other videos, because this is just one playlist of many different types of videos on our YouTube channel, Jedi Toy Masters. We've done a couple of unboxings as of late, and just the last couple of weeks we've done 2 videos that are G.I. Joe related. I mentioned that last week. So the 2 videos are up and they're pretty fun. So if you like watching unboxing videos and toy unboxing and get a kick out of seeing my boys all excited about G.I. Joe, and I mean I've gotten comments about how there's just like pure joy in their faces, and people get a kick out of that because it reminds us older folk of what it was like when we were kids, and opening up those G.I. Joes and those Star Wars toys as kids, like it was just pure magic. So I get to relive that through them, and so it's fun. So I hope you check out those videos as well. So this week, not a lot of news, not a lot of stuff in the news. Man, this video is like really blown out. I'm sorry, I'm like paying attention to the video when I should pay attention to the road and to the topic at hand here. This week, not a lot of news in Star Wars, but the few snippets of news that we did get are quite interesting. For example, number one, the actor, I'm forgetting his name now, this guy right here, the actor that played Aladdin in the live-action Aladdin movie, talented young guy. He is kind of gunning for playing Ezra in the live-action form. Like, he wants to be Ezra in the Star Wars universe in live action. And I think it's pretty safe to say that, I mean, at this point, if we got live action Ahsoka, we got Boba Fett back, we got live action Bo-Katan. It's pretty safe to assume we're going to get a live action Thrawn and a live action Ezra. Those two kind of go together. So that's really exciting. Like, I'm really, really pumped about that. And I'm hoping that if he is the person that's getting cast as Ezra, I hope he does the role justice. He recently posted something on, I don't know if it was a tweet or an Instagram, but he posted like a picture of himself, and he put a quote, which was like an Ezra quote. in the caption below. So, you know, that kind of tells us as fans that he's a fan. And why not? Why wouldn't you be a fan? I mean, if you haven't watched Star Wars Rebels, man, you're missing out. You know, I know a lot of fans, a lot of people in the community, they're, you know, they were hesitant. Maybe they missed it. Like, they were like, I didn't really get into it. Because granted, it was out. It was on Disney XD, which not everyone has Disney XD, and not everyone watches Disney, you know. So a lot of people were also kind of more into the movie. I mean, the sequel trilogy was like, you know, out. You know, we had gotten Force Awakens, and we were like, you know, excited of what the next Star Wars movie was going to be, and then here's this cartoon. So a lot of people didn't really get into it, didn't really take advantage when it was airing week to week. But I did, and boy, was it good. And many other fans. And it's a shame because I think if a lot more of us would have been watching the show, if the numbers would have shown that the show was really that hit with the fans, we probably would have gotten more in the toys, because I think that's where there was a big lacking. Was the toys. There was not enough Star Wars Rebels toys. Perfect example of that, and I'm still a little annoyed at this, but during the time that Star Wars Rebels was out, you know, my sons were a couple years younger now there, so I had been buying them Star Wars toys, but it was the Playskool. I forgot the name. It was like called Jedi Force at one point, and then it was Galactic Heroes at another point. So I had been buying them those toys throughout those years leading up to the sequel trilogy, and even when Star Wars Rebels was out. So I wasn't at that point. I think I hadn't come back to collecting Black Series or modern vintage collection. Like I had just I had stopped. You know, I had stopped a while ago. My brother was still, every now and then, he would be like, oh man, I found this figure, you know. And like I would go to I went to the Force Fridays with my brother, and, you know, maybe bought a couple figures, but I was very hesitant. I'm like, I don't want to get back into buying figures. I mean, of course, since then, now my boys are full force, pun intended, into Star Wars. They love Clone Wars, and I've bought a lot of figures since then, and I've also bought a lot of loose Clone Wars figures, because they love Clone Wars. So and now with the Mandalorian, I really love the Mandalorian 6-inch line, so the Black Series. So I've been, you know, I love anything Mandalorian at this point, and 6-inch is amazing. But at that point, I was really just focusing on just buying these cute little Playskool Star Wars toys. They were pretty cool. I mean, if you Google them and you look at images of these toys, they were pretty well made. They're very adorable, very like child friendly, but very cool. Like the vehicles were really cool. Like the figures worked with them, and so they came out with the Ghost ship from Star Wars Rebels. You know, the Ghost, and I thought that was amazing. So I got them the Ghost ship, and one of the reasons why I did get it was because I love the idea. There was another vehicle that I had seen online that was like, oh, coming soon, I guess, or I don't know if it was going to be a Walmart exclusive or what, but there was the Phantom Shuttle, which if you watch Star Wars Rebels, you know that the Phantom Shuttle like basically docks into the Ghost ship, and this Playskool toy, Ghost, had the compartment in the back for the Phantom Shuttle. Now the Phantom Shuttle, this is the picture of it right here. It was made, and it was, advertised as that this thing will dock into that, and it came with the Hera figure. I had already gotten I had little Chopper and little Ezra, like really cool toys. You know, really, really cool toys. And so I was excited about it. And here's the thing. That Phantom Shuttle, it never came out. it was advertised. There was a product page for it on the Walmart website, but it never was released. It was never released. And that was just such a bummer, you know? And I searched, man. I searched eBay. I would constantly go to the Walmart website. I shot a message to Walmart asking them. I even went as far as messaging Playskool and Hasbro, their customer service, whatever, or public relations, whatever, and basically said, like, where is this toy? And I think I had gotten a response basically saying, you know, it was released and, you know, you would have to check stores to see if they still have any in stock, which is a load of crap because I've not seen anyone with it. I've done all kinds of searches online. This thing is a mystery to me. If you're watching and by chance you say, oh, hey, I have that. Oh my gosh, please message me because I've been looking for this thing forever. I don't think it came out. I think it was just announced at like the toy shows. I remember seeing it at a toy show. There's a video where, you know, it was released. I forgot what year, but at a toy show, they showed that whole line of the Star Wars Rebels Playskool sets. But that particular figure was never released. That little ship with the Hera figure, I don't think was ever released. And it's a real... it's really annoying. It's a real bummer. So, but during that time, I think that's an example of, I think they pulled back on a lot of Star Wars Rebels toys that maybe were going to come out and didn't come out. And there was a number of things that came out with Star Wars Rebels. There was the Inquisitor TIE fighter with the folding wings. There was there was like a chicken walker, a special chicken walker. I forgot what it was called. I think it was like the AT-DT or something like that. That was from Star Wars Rebels. There was they came out with like a weird little Y-wing, like a Y-wing hybrid ship. They came out with an A-wing because there was a later episode where Hera pilots an A-wing, and you see the A-wing in the episode, so that made a toy of that. There was like an Ezra with Ezra in a speeder. there was an Imperial speeder bike, excuse me, with which, and I have a couple of them. I have most of them actually. So there was a number of vehicles and figures that came out. You know, then later on they came out with the 2-pack. There was an old man Captain Rex pack. There was the Inquisitors pack. There was the Ahsoka with Vader 2-pack. So there was a decent amount, but I think it could have been more. Like they never came out with the Ghost ship, which I think was a huge missed opportunity on Hasbro's part. Because when you think about the fact that we're getting the Razor Crest, and the Razor Crest got blown up in the last season, spoiler alert, and you think about, we've gotten so many different versions of the Millennium Falcon, we've gotten so many different versions of TIE fighters and X-Wings, and we got the U-Wing from Rogue One, which is not even proportioned to the figures. Like, technically it's supposed to be a bigger ship. The fact that we didn't get the Ghost, I mean, oh man. And this is controversial, but the Ghost ship is actually my favorite ship. Like, I think, everybody loves the Millennium Falcon because it's so iconic, but man, they really thought about it when they designed the Ghost ship, and it's so cool. I think the Ghost ship is even better than the Razor Crest. I would love to see the Ghost ship as a playset, as a vehicle that you can buy. There's actually a guy on YouTube. I'll link him if I remember. I'll link him in the notes below. Who actually made one? He made one like out of just like plastic and cardboard and all kinds of. And it's like a scale version, almost as like the way the Razor Crest is going to be this giant ship. He made a giant Ghost ship that the 3 3/4 figures can fit in and everything, and it's amazing. If you've not seen it, go on YouTube, search Star Wars Rebels Ghost ship, and he's probably one of the first videos you'll see. So yeah, Star Wars Rebels is an amazing show, and if you didn't watch it when it was out, man, you can catch it on Disney Plus. Man, I've been slowly rewatching it, not in order. Like my son every now and then pops an episode in there, so we've been watching them out of order. But even watching them out of order, it's like such an exciting show. Every episode is so well made, so well crafted. Dave Filoni, I think, like, he became a master during the process of creating the Clone Wars, and by the time he made Star Wars Rebels, he was basically just refining his art, refining his mastery, and that's why season 7 of Clone Wars, I think, was so great. It was because by that point, like that, he had it down to a science. I mean, he's great at that, and now we're seeing how great he is in live action as well. So if you've not watched Star Wars Rebels, please watch Star Wars Rebels. It's a great show. It expands the mythology, expands the Force, and it's, unlike a lot of other things like Star Wars Resistance and The Mandalorian, even The Mandalorian, this is very Force centric, and it takes place in the best era, which is the era of the Empire and the beginning of the Rebels. Excuse me. So I really, really enjoyed that show. Also, so the fact is, we may be getting a live action Ezra, and that means we may be getting a live action Thrawn. So it's exciting to think that we may be getting almost like this Marvel Cinematic Universe, like Endgame, Infinity War type of thing, which I think is what they're going to do. I think you have The Mandalorian, you have the Book of Boba Fett, you have the Republic Commandos, you have the Ahsoka series. The rumor is now that because they've gotten rid of Cara Dune's character, that they're going to sub in Hera from Rebels, a live action Hera, in that Republic Commando series, which I think would be an amazing idea to do, especially since Hera has a son who may or may not be Force sensitive, and maybe we pick up. This is years after Return of the Jedi, so her son is probably like a teenager at this point. So that could be very interesting too. Then you have this idea of a live action Ezra and quite possibly a live action Thrawn. So I think everything is shaping up to maybe Thrawn. Now, who knows? Because it could be shaping up to be Thrawn, the big baddie, right? But why is Thrawn the big baddie? And what happened to him? Because we don't see him in the sequel trilogy. So, two things. Number one, Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni, and this stretch of Star Wars could quite possibly, like many rumors have been saying, could quite possibly erase the sequel trilogy. Like the sequel trilogy could turn out to be almost like an Elseworld thing, because you have the world between worlds, you have changing of time and space and all that stuff through the Ahsoka show. Or they could just be leaning into it and saying these are the events that took place that led to the formation of the First Order, and Palpatine cloning Snoke and creating Snoke, and Palpatine's alive somewhere. So will they go that route? Will we maybe eventually seek? I mean, how amazing would it be? Even though I don't like the sequel trilogy, if they have to tie it into the sequel trilogy, at least make the sequel trilogy more legit by kind of like fixing some backstories. And, maybe at the end we see Thrawn is defeated, and or maybe he escapes again because he's so slithering. And maybe he goes to see Palpatine, and maybe we get Ian McDiarmid as a cameo in like the last episode, or the last scene. He goes to see Palpatine, and Palpatine creates Snoke, and Snoke kills Thrawn as like, prove yourself to my allegiance or whatever. And, and you see Snoke like, yes, master, and kills Thrawn. And there it is. There's how we end it. Like, the First Order begins from there, and it was all Palpatine all along. So it wouldn't be my favorite thing, because it would just make the sequel trilogy more legitimate in my head canon. But I kind of like the idea of them messing with time and space, and then maybe the events of episode 7, 8, and 9 end up being almost like a dream, like it was like an alternate world. The whole idea of multiverses is popular. You got the Marvel multiverse, you got the DC multiverse, and now you're gonna have the Star Wars multiverse. So who knows? Who knows? It could be that. So that's as far as Star Wars news. There's that, and then, which is pretty exciting, is the idea that they're saying that the Obi-Wan show and the Andor show are both in production right now. The Andor show is like currently in production, like they're shooting it, and probably some episodes, maybe some episodes are already in post-production. The Obi-Wan show, I think, is in pre-production, and they're going to be, I think, shooting it this year. And the rumor is that quite possibly Obi-Wan might appear in the Andor show. So that means that these two shows might take place in the same time period, which kind of makes sense because in Rogue One, it's leading right into episode 4. This Andor show takes place a few years before the events of Rogue One. So, we have to kind of buy into the reality of Ewan McGregor's Obi-Wan is Alec Guinness Obi-Wan, like just a few years younger. So we kind of have to make that a leap of the imagination that, or they're going to do a really good job at aging Obi-Wan, or maybe the Obi-Wan show takes place years prior and the Andor show takes years later. And when we see Obi-Wan in the Andor show, Obi-Wan is older, and maybe they do a little makeup, a little like enhanced CG or whatever, and make him look a little bit more like Alec Guinness. So that would be kind of cool too. So that it's pretty interesting where we are right now, just kind of like in this holding pattern, waiting to see what happens. I mean, despite all the ugly news in this world of Star Wars with fans and cancel culture and all that stuff, let's just hold on to the positive things and kind of be excited for some of the stuff that's out there. I'm not really going to get into the other side of Star Wars that's out right now, which is this whole book line of the High Republic. I don't really know enough about it, and quite frankly, I'm not really interested in it. From what I understand, a lot of the stories are good, but not great, and a lot of the new characters that they've created for this High Republic are kind of just kind of off. Like there's something off. My honest opinion, not knowing everything about it, is that this thing just seems off. This seems like Legends, because and all the things that they say are Legends seem more canon to me. So that's just me, an old grumpy Star Wars fan that misses the George Lucas era. But anyway, that's enough for this week. What do you guys think? Star Wars Rebels. Have you watched Star Wars Rebels? Are you into Star Wars Rebels? Are you rewatching it? What do you think of this cast rumor for the Ezra in the live action role? What do you think about Obi-Wan maybe appearing in Andor? And what do you think about Thrawn and this whole idea of having him be kind of like the Thanos of this little, collision of all these new shows coming out? I think it's kind of cool. But at the same time, Star Wars is supposed to be original and supposed to be kind of stand on its own. And the fact that they might be going to the well and doing something that's already been done before in Marvel, and that, DC is kind of doing in a way by releasing this Snyder Cut thing, because it's kind of like in the same thing. You have the big baddie and all the heroes coming together. I don't know. I think it's cool anyway. It's entertainment. And at this point, I just feel like all of these organizations are just scrambling to put out content that they know formulaically we're going to want to watch, because they need more subscribers, they need more views, because nobody's going to the movie theater anymore. Nobody has money to be spending at the movies right now. So these subscription services are all we got. So anyway, guys, thanks for listening. I'll catch you next week. And remember,
the Force will be with you, always.